Welcome everybody to a look at a new BFI release, and it is 1962's Strongroom. So this is directed by Vernon Sewell, who also did the likes of Spinner Dark Web, The Blood Beast Terror, and Curse of the Crimson Altar. So that's in descending order in terms of quality as well, by the way, with Spinner Dark Web definitely being the best. And this comes in somewhere between the first two, to be honest. And it's a crime drama, clocking in at 79 minutes long, stars the likes of Colin Gordon, who was in Night of the Eagle and the Pink Panther, the first one. Also stars Darren Nesbitt, who was in Where Eagles Dare. He was the lead Nazi, I believe, in that one. So during a bank robbery, the manager and a cashier are locked in the airtight strong room while the crooks escape. Later, when the gang realizes that their plan to release the pair has gone wrong, they return to the bank to try and release them before the police turn up and the air runs out. So this is a simple and well put together film that, despite its rather cheap production, as even the amount that is being stolen by the thieves is more than the budget for this, as its budget was £17,000, which is not a lot at all for a 1962 production. You know, you look at the first Bond film, for instance, which cost more than $1 million, and even that would be the least amount that any of those films would cost. So, yeah, definitely a low budget B movie. But that said, I still find it to be highly engrossing and well structured despite its budget limitations. The cast is also good. The first act is a good mix of setup and tension. It has solid pacing, an enjoyable plot, and some interesting character interactions that bring up some thoughtful themes about class and workplace relationships, and how some people generally just focus on work more than anything else and such. So, yeah, overall, a solid effort, a 3.5 out of 5. Not an amazing film or anything. Obviously, like I said, it is quite limited by its production budget, but on the whole, a really, really solid effort, and one that I'm glad has finally been given a physical Blu-ray release, as I don't believe it's had a such a thing before. So there is the disc itself, which is nicely printed. Keys obviously playing an integral role to the film. No reversible sleeve artwork though, but we do get a booklet with this release as well, with a shot from the film from the front, and then that on the reverse. That basically says, there's more to discover about film and television through the BFI, our world-renowned archives, cinemas, festivals, films, production, publications, and learning resources are here to inspire you. So inside the booklet, we get the most competent man I have ever known, Vernon Sewell, and the British B film by James Bell, as this, obviously with its low budget, is considered a B movie. So just say there's spoiler warning as well for as there are some plot details revealed throughout this write-up, so do proceed carefully. But there are some shots from the film throughout as well. Then we have the cast and crew. Then we have British crime films of the 60s by Barry Forshaw. And again, more shots of the film throughout. I'm picking shots from the film that aren't necessarily spoiler heavy. And then we also have special features on this disc as well, which are also detailed in this booklet. But I'll just talk about the presentation first. So the Strong Room was remastered at 2K resolution from a 4K scan of the original 35mm fine grain, duplicating positive element held by the BFI National Archive, and is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1:6:1. The audio was transferred from an original optical track and is presented in mono, just like it would have been at the time. So, yeah, it looks and sounds perfectly good. Obviously, being a B movie, you know, only costing £17,000, it's not going to look the greatest in terms of visual quality. I imagine it wasn't, you know, particularly well looked after for some time. But they've done a decent enough job with the new remaster, so there is that. And then we have special features on the disc itself. So, yeah, we've got newly recorded audio commentaries by film historians Dr. Josephine Botting and Vic Pratt. Then we've got The Man in the Backseat. That's a 57-minute 1961 thriller from Vernon Sewell, featuring many of Strongroom's cast and crew. I didn't actually know there was a shorter film on here. I'll definitely give that a check out at some point. And then we've got a John Trumper BHP interview from 1992. That's a 158-minute audio interview with the Strongroom editor, who discusses his career. Then got Footpads. That's from 1896. clocking in at 1 minute long, and that is one of the earliest British crime films. So that's interesting that they've been able to dig up something like that. Then we've got A Test for Love. That's from 1937, clocking in at 27 minutes long, directed by Vernon Sewell as well. And that's a public information film on the perils of STDs. I doubt that's very aged very well, but nonetheless, it's interesting that Vernon Sewell also did public information films before going on to do, you know, cinematic efforts. And then we've got The Awakening Hour. It's a 21-minute film from 1957, directed by Donovan Winter, and that's about a robbery that goes wrong as morning breaks in London. So, you know, uh, somewhat similar to this, obviously. And then we've got After Dark. That's a 14-minute film by Mike Dodds from 1979, and that is a road safety film edited by John Trumper. So, relevant in terms of the fact that it's also got the same editor as this film, but also relevant in the fact that there is a car crash in this, which, you know, kicks off the second half of this plot basically. So yeah, overall a decent amount of extras there. Definitely will try out that other film, The Man in the Back Seat, from Vernon Sewell, as I didn't know that was actually included in this. Probably should read the extras beforehand. But yeah, that also does star Darren Nesbitt and Keith Faulkner, who are both in this main film in this release. So yeah, but on the whole, a solid film, Strongroom. Like I said, a good 3.5 out of 5. Nothing spectacular. You could definitely see the budget limitations as well and such, but overall, a really, really solid premise that is executed as well as it could be for a budgeted film of only £17,000. So yeah, well worth seeing, especially if you are into your shorter kind of B movies from the 60s. Especially if you also have enjoyed films from the director or the cast before. Nonetheless, so if you have seen Strongroom before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.